Test, test, test. One, two, three. Testing. 1, 2, 3. I think we have Mike says that sound is being fed. Testing. 1, 2, 3. I think we have Mike says that sound is being fed. Awesome. I'm keeping my other device open so I can see the live chat. I won't be able to see it through here because I'm on streaming software. I'm not on actual YouTube right now. So we'll start in about 2 minutes and it'll be 8 p.m. But hang on tight, folks. I'm gonna get some to drink. All right, we're back in just about 1 minute. All righty, and it's now 8 p.m. PST. We can close the whiteboard. All right, guys. So, hi there. Welcome back to the live stream here on the Cash Vault channel. I'm Cash, aka Sean. So, we're going to be discussing and maybe somewhat do a little review, in general, of the Alien sci-fi horror franchise. Um, so we are going to be going over first. The recommendation that if you are a big fan of the whole Alien franchise, I mean, serpents, the eggs, the face huggers, the one by one slaughtered and getting killed, impregnated, whatever it is, um, I will like to share with you on here. Let's see. We got share. Alrighty. So I want to share with you if you have all the movies, if you can somewhat access them, and if you want to watch them, this is the franchise in chronological order of its timeline, not by the year that it was released in theaters. So, according to Google, we have how to watch the Alien franchise in order. So, you want to watch first the 2012 Prometheus film, okay? Because that has all of the content and scenery that you need to know before Ripley's team and her time went out there to investigate on like that planet LV-426 that because Prometheus was going and investigating um the planet for the very first time from the Prometheus crew. And it's about that big, funky looking U-shaped ship that the creatures from space came and then somehow um found some way to like speed up human or creature evolution. So they were able to like in a way humans could like a possible way of having human and alien hybrids or maybe human and predator hybrids, um or all those any of those other creatures hybriding with another creature, making them a little more monstrous or intelligent or whatever it is. um and we've seen images of that in the first Alien film from 1979 because Okay, going a little too forward right there. So back to Prometheus, you want to do that film first because it's the first time we see LV-426, the planet. We've seen those creatures in that ship alive and what their purpose is and possibly why they're doing all of that. Pretty much we're introduced to them, like the first known alien-like creatures before the serpents and the eggs and the face huggers. So once you understand where they're coming from, it eventually leads to the whole Alien franchise serpents like manifestation and disasters. Um, so Prometheus 2012 is first. Then after that, you want to watch Alien Covenant, released in 2017, because Covenant is a direct sequel to Prometheus, um, but it's still before the first original Alien film from 79. Um, Alien Covenant basically covers the idea, something. I'm gonna see if I can find something like that on here because typically I don't know exactly what Covenant, or I actually don't remember what Covenant was all about because I've only seen it once. So if I can just put in here Alien Covenant, and then if we can just head down to some of these questions, what was what was the point of Alien Covenant? Well, that's a big question. Basically, Google and critics tell us um, Alien Covenant can be understood as a meditation upon the ideas of Frederick Nietzsche, however you pronounce that, and Emil Kieran's anti-humanism. Like after a prologue, the movie follows the journey of the starship Covenant. So Covenant is the name of the starship in the film, which is carrying 2,000 Comatose colonists to the planet Origay 6. So it's basically another film that involves colonists for another planet and they're being transported, um, following with the the serpent situation. So basically, we can also try putting in here an overview or summary for that matter. So Covenant, it says for its summary about it is that it's a bound of a remote planet on the far side of the galaxy, obviously. Um, Members Catherine Waterston and Billy Crudup of the colony ship Covenant discover what they think to be an uncharted paradise. While there, they meet David, played by Michael Fassbender, who was also Magneto in the X-Men First Class trilogy. Um, so the synthetic survivor of the doomed Prometheus expedition from the first Prometheus movie, because yeah, Michael Fassbender, who plays David, is an android. You know, white blood and all the tubes and organs and all that stuff. Um, and of course, in every of those films, we always end up seeing the android basically getting like split up, damaged, or somehow see its insides. I mean, it was just wicked to see. Um, so the mysterious world soon turns dark and dangerous when a hostile alien life form forces the crew into a deadly fight for survival. So in a way, it's bringing the ideas of the first original Alien 79 film into um some ideas from Prometheus because again, you're meeting again David, the android survivor from the Prometheus ship, um, along with just again a crew who thought they found paradise that turned it out to be a hell. So it's basically like the original film, except with a few extras in it, if you know what I mean. So anyways, now we can head back and see what the order was again for the franchise. So here it is. How to watch it in order. So that was about Covenant. Then when you're done watching that as the second film, you would then want to watch the third film in the chronological order, which will be the first original 1979 film. That's when Ripley and her crew went out. Ripley played by Sigourney Weaver. Um, and what were a couple of other good stars in there? Oh yeah. On Ripley's crew in in that first Alien film, um there was that African American actor named Yaphet Kotto, um, or Yaphet Kotto. But anyways, he was a James Bond villain. I can't remember for which Bond though. Sean Connery or Michael Pierce. Who knows? Um, but a few years ago, that actor passed away. Also, along with the deceased actor Ian Holm, who played the synthetic person, the android, who apparently turned on Ripley and her crew because his prime directive or special order, Ripley calls it, was to bring back life form and crew and other priorities expendable, meaning that they don't matter. So in a way, in the second in the sequel after that, Aliens from 1986, there's another android in there who's a younger model, played by Lance Henriksen, who explains that um, Ian Holmes, uh, android physical type, who's supposed to look older because he had gray hair and the start of the wrinkles and everything, played by Ian Holm, who plays the character Ash. Um, Ash's uh Android model was what Lance Henriksen's character describes as the A-22s or something like that, Hyperdyne Systems model, whatever it is. Um, he explains it as they were always quite a bit twitchy. That explains it because he asked, was it an older model? After another character explained to Lance that Ash's model type with Ripley sort of in a way like malfunctioned and started to want to kill her. Um, but once again, going a little bit of ahead. So when you see the first Alien film, the original Alien film from 1979, which was again the first ever released, but is not the first in the chronological order. You want to see Prometheus 2012, Alien Covenant 2017, and Alien 1979. So in this one, Ripley and her team, they obviously go down to LV-426. This is a time jump when the U ship of that you see in Prometheus was already crashed and has been kind of like a damaged structure there for like over many years. In a way, it's like abandoned. It looks dead. It looks scrappy. It's now on that planet where it's all misty, foggy, and you can't see a damn thing. Um, so it's like you would not expect to find anything, but in a way, you do. Uh, because apparently, that is their in a way they've landed in their home or so-called on their beacon, which is what Ripley explains in the film afterwards in Aliens in 86. She says, we homed in on its beacon. So back to Alien, when they investigate in what's going down there, because originally they thought it was a distress call, but apparently it was a company order sent to them through their computer system saying that they need to go and investigate it. So, like following orders, they do that. And then, of course, the tragedy begins with the face hugger that went on one character and then bam, brought it into the ship, brought a serpent alive. And that was the first time we ever seen the idea of an alienish looking monster, like what the serpents look like. And then for that film, it's like we only need one of these just to terrorize a whole crew of seven. Um, and kind of they kind of explain like the creature's advantages, pros, um, and their weaknesses in a way because, like, for example, the creature's weakness can be the their blowtorch they used in the tunnels. Um, or being blasted out into space through an airlock, like what Ripley did in her shuttle at the very end. And then, as far as we know, they can't survive out there when they're floating out in space. Eventually, they'll die because, they have to be in a structure, or these aliens were surviving on like ships and hiding and then possibly nesting. So, in a way, they're aliens of space, but it's like they'll still die out there if they're floating. So in a way, that's kind of ironic, isn't it? But anyways, then that film ended, and of course, unfortunately, the entire crew slaughtered with only Ripley as the last survivor. And then after Alien, you want to see Aliens 1986, the sequel to the original. Um, and then when Ripley comes back from hypersleep, it takes place 57 years later when she's been asleep. And then after her original crew on the Nostromo was slaughtered, the company is like, well, that doesn't matter anymore. You are the only last survivor. Now you got to tell us exactly what happened because, in a way, she got in big trouble because, obviously blowing up a multi-million dollar ship. So obviously that's probably very criminal like. So when the insurance companies like and the agents were really interrogating her in that meeting room, oh my God, she was getting heavyweight in there for over 3.5 hours. And then obviously she was out there in the first place those many years ago that faced the trauma and the struggle and the near death experience of a serpent. Um, the giant black monster. So it makes sense that she would get all upset and agitated when they keep trying to question her about it because it's like I can tell what she's thinking. What if it was you out there? What if it was you out there and I was in here behind the desk doing all of the desk jobs, like in safety quarters or whatever? But anyways, Uh, though Ripley got in trouble, they found a way to redeem her by having her go back out there with the Marines to investigate the planet again, and in a way, look for any surviving colonists because the colonists were all slaughtered down on that same planet when the face huggers were kind of like brought back um to life doing their duty by taking more hosts when the hosts explored that same ship as Ripley's did. So in a way, Ripley kind of has that idea of like, I know how all those colonists feel, but I'm not going back out there. I mean, who would? So, then with the Marines as her protection, packed with state-of-the-art firepower, equipment, like billions and billions of dollars of budget worth of, like, weapons, strategic tools, all of the training, that all of like the high-class training that these Marines have, you would think that, it would be no problem then, right? If you faced even a whole army of them with this stuff. Because, it's like, who knew these monsters can be just shot with regular guns like a regular person and die? You would think it would take much more than that to kill them. But like the face huggers, acidic blood, they have strong they have a strong defense mechanism. You don't just shoot it and expect it to die without getting a little damage, I mean risky damage from it, because the whole idea is, nailing them, the targets, meaning to shoot them from quite a safe distance. That, in my opinion, is the real trick. of how you can kill them without getting any damage um or any like so much burn that you would get to death. Um so at the end of that, it's the first time we ever seen a queen. It's like if you think that these serpents were bad enough, if you meet the queen, she's like triple the size of them. She's got a big ass crown, and then she's even nastier going after the kid rather than Ripley with the gun. Because after what Ripley did to all of her eggs, it's like the queen was saying, "You destroyed my family. Now I'm going to destroy your kid." See, these serpents might be like dumb by just attacking and, not expect to get shot, but this queen was nobody to mess with. So in this Aliens of 1986 is the first time we're ever introduced to, not only the new stuff that was brought into the movie, like weapons, Marines, and the idea of trying to wipe and exterminate the serpents, but also of meeting a queen xenomorph. Uh, and then people were so thrilled with that they demanded more movies with queens in them. So they decided, unfortunately, Alien 3, um, and I think Alien Resurrection. I don't know about the Resurrection, but I do know in Alien 3 there is no queen. It's all a prison um that Ripley ends up being in because of once again at the ending of the 1986 film she goes back out there fully armed and everything, so it's like deja vu. I'm back in the danger where I started in the end of my first trip out. But she made it out with three survivors this time. The android Lance Henriksen played as Bishop, who was a synthetic model off of Carl Bishop Whalen from the Whalen-Yutani Corporation, which is the company we're talking about that's been all it's like a billion dollar biotech firm that builds worlds out in space. Um, by using people kind of like in a slight bit of slavery, unfortunately. Um, but these people, are kind of a bit blind because the company like delivers it to them as you are actual paid workers, your hours mean great to the company, and they might promise them with maybe, I don't know, maybe their type of 401k plans or pension plans, whatever it is. But I will tell you something as a new bit of a spoiler, if you go in theaters now and if you've seen Alien Romulus, it tells in the beginning of the movie about the Weyland-Yutani Corporation and pretty much some of their shady business practices that they use on these people. So, and as by people, I mean they're miners. They mine on the planet for the riches and go under tunnels and such like that. Um, of course, risking bad stuff to inhale. People have died in the mines and such like that, but I won't go into detail on that. I don't want to spoil Romulus for all of you. Um, so, anyways, after the Aliens 1986, four survivors, including Ripley, once again putting into hypersleep to sleep all the way home because they think they can get home, but once again, they didn't get home. It's like, oh, come on, can't we just go home? So they ended up once again, like in the beginning of the 1986 Aliens film, how her shuttle was taken in from another spaceport colony, and if you will, from a search survey team that rescued her from the system. Um, some kind of a scavenger team, I believe, that picked her up with her cat. Um, But in Alien 3, it's a similar thing. And unfortunately, the journey along that way, Ripley woke up all by herself because the other three survivors that slept with her, once they got out, they were instantly dead, including the girl Newt. So it's like, yeah, this is the start of the franchise getting even darker and a little more depressing. because you would think that, with the Aliens film of 86, you would believe that with all of that, hardcore war type stuff with the Marines and the weapons and the whole entire um nuclear bomb of the whole planet when they left it, you would think that it was over and all those monsters were dead. Well, apparently they're not. Because there are many worlds out in space built by the Yutani Corp that have been manifestationed with xenomorphs. So it's not just one planet they were from, like LV-426 that was blown up um, at the end of the 86 film. But when she gets woken in Alien 3, she's once again just processed right into prison with all these other bad people, um, who she thought can have them kind of like team up with her to face these xenomorphs that had broken into the whole prison complex and had started slaughtering the prisoners. And then she finally gets the face hugger brought to her, and then an alien finally busts out of Ripley as she fell and died before it can try and really harm her, if you will. So it's like she made it this far. She made it this far. Alien 3 of 1992. That's when she really died. But if you think about it, I mean, of course, her human self is dead. But um, so yeah, Alien 3 um has been known to be weaker than Aliens of 1986. Um, but it's still better than Alien Resurrection, the fourth original film in 1997, which is just a year after I was born. That's kind of cool. Um, but yeah, I would still watch if I had to choose between Alien 3 or Alien Resurrection, which one to watch, I would still probably choose Alien 3. Just because, there is a bit more xenomorph action and, you know, Ripley's human self is trying to still survive the journey along the way, even though she is in prison and trying to kind of like educate these prisoners about the xenomorphs and possibly maybe how to survive them or hide from them or run from them, if you will. I mean, because, they're prisoners, they're not to be trusted. And they didn't really care for her because, they nearly tried to rape her in one scene. Which apparently the many of the fans did not want to see that, but the director thought it was necessary because they were trying to show us another side, like, okay, you have people who signed up and are on your team to help you against these xenomorphs, but it's like the first two crews that that Ripley had, her crew on the Nostromo and the alien and the Marines, those groups actually cared about her and would actually die in harm's way to like save and protect her. Um, but in Alien 3 with the prisoners, you can't trust any of them. Um, they may try and help, but you still got to watch your back in there. Um, also, um, yep. So the alien finally busted out of Ripley's chest in Alien 3, and then that was the end of her as she fell through the fire. Um, but then when Alien Resurrection came along, that had the biggest criticism of all. Of course, that was known as the weakest film out of all of them, just because people thought, "Oh, now this is just getting too weird. This doesn't really fit with the whole franchise. Ripley is back as a clone." So it's like, in a way, um, it's kind of like the idea of what they did with Carl Bishop Wayland, the the original human host for the Wayland Yutani Corporation and who owns it. It's like what they did with him in Aliens of 86, cloning him, making him the character Bishop, a synthetic. So in a way, they did that similar thing to Ripley in Resurrection in 97, um, but with a bit of a twist. This was like kind of the first time we ever get like the whole Prometheus 2012 idea of like hybrids, because you can also see in all of the other Predator and the Alien versus Predator films. There was a film called Alien versus Predator or EVP Requiem. And in Requiem, it has the idea of taking a an alien serpent and a predator alien like warrior with the the ones with the masks and the whole heat vision masks and everything, and with the discs and the laser shot weapons. You know who those guys are. um Imagine those creatures being smushed into one, having a serpent predator hybrid monster, if you will. So not only is the serpent more deadly and strong, but is also smarter with the smarter mind of a predator. So it's not as mindless, so it knows what it's doing. Um, and when stuff like them are sent to other planets, it's Predator's job to cruise out in space, find them, and to hunt them out to regain their honor or something like that. Um, but in Alien Resurrection, there are no predators. This is not the predator side of it all. Um, they didn't know what the predators were until like years after or even before Prometheus's time. They go back to like ancient space years. So in Alien Resurrection in 1997, we don't have the idea of an alien serpent and a predator being brought together like AVP Requiem, but we have a human like pieces of the human DNA that with the corpse machines and maybe like cloning facility that made their clones and synthetic persons like androids, they were able to take part of Ripley's DNA they found and put it into a serpent or a queen's or serpent queen's DNA into one, um like the shots that you would see in Alien Romulus, which is still out now. I won't say any more about that, but it's like take that and then build a bean. So now she's half human, half monster. She, in a way, is the new queen in Resurrection, and she's laying eggs. So it's in a way at this point, Ripley's gone. I mean, she can still talk. I think she, if I'm not mistaken, in Resurrection, um, there was once again, it was about another crew who went to, I believe, investigate the planet that they landed on, that Ripley was on, or that Ripley and the Ripley Queen and this one was on. Um, and I think she tried helping them out by surviving, if you will. But it's like she was conflicted with her old self, trying to be a survivor and a good person. Um, but clashing with the ideas of still laying an egg and wanting to protect the serpent and the monsters. So, um, I'm just gonna do something here and just see what the overview of Resurrection was, because I have to admit it has been a while. Um, so here's also another question. Why was Alien Resurrection so bad? Well, basically, it's because the Alien films have always been a director's series, but in this film, it was the writing that ultimately killed it. Resurrection tries to be too many things at once, like so many new things and old things we've known being clashed into one, and it's like, oh my God, what am I supposed to like understand here now? I mean, what is this and what is that? But why, like, okay, if that is that, then what is that doing there? It just asks so many fans and critics so many questions. Um, it has a very artistic and dynamic visual style, but cardboard characters. It's like they're so plain. It's like you create characters that don't have actual like meaning or goals. They're just like extras in a crowd being thrown in there, being doing like all the reactions, or ooh, or like what are we supposed to behave like? Um, but and as you can see on here, it has bad ratings. IMDb rated Resurrection back in the day as 6.2 out of 10. It's got a F grade and Rotten Tomatoes of 55%. Um, and 62% from Metacritic. So, but Google users have rated this 83% that say they like the movie. I guess that's okay for it. Um, but again, I would rather watch Alien 3 than Resurrection. Um, of course, it's taking place 200 years after Ripley sacrificed herself for the sake of humanity. Her erstwhile employers long gone. This time, it is the military that resurrects the one woman killing machine through genetic cloning. So the military operations, in a way, cloned her and made her a new alien queen, basically. Um, in a way, they think could try to extract and get the um to in a way heal the chest bust that she got in the third film when she fell and died as it bust out of her. So basically, yes, that's all of them in order. So if we just go back um and to review once again of what order you should watch them in, Prometheus 2012, 2, Alien Covenant 2017, 3, Alien 1979, 4, Aliens 1986, 5, Alien 3 from 1992, and then 6, the last one should be Alien Resurrection 1997. If you want to watch all of these in chronological order, that's the way to go. Um, so I believe we are done here. We can stop sharing. Okay, so we have gone over a little bit of an overview of each one and the timological order and understanding of each of these films. So probably on another live stream someday, I'll do another topic relating to this one. Maybe I'll also do a discussion not about this Alien franchise that we just did, but maybe of the Predator films or the Alien versus Predator movies, because I find those very fascinating, having like, serpents being brought in with the content of these like, highly sophisticated, high-tech futuristic um alien suit up warriors. It seems really fascinating. So, I believe that is going to be all for tonight. We did a very good 35 minutes worth, ending at about approximately 40 minutes of a live, so not bad. So, So again, guys, if you've missed this live, it should be archived in the lives playlist. You can make your comments and stuff there. Live chat at the end of this will be disabled because it'll not be live anymore. So don't forget to press that like button down below if it gives the option, and then put your comment on what your thoughts and your opinions are on this whole Alien franchise. Um, and also, please check out next on my channel is going to be a video, another movie review with Scott Applier. Um, we're going to be doing our review of the Alien Romulus movie. Um, and so, but probably before we leave, maybe I should look this up on the net again. Um, maybe I should put in here just for fun. I want to put in here, um, Alien Romulus, the new 2024 film that's out in theaters right now. Um, so yep, I don't want showtimes. We don't need the cast. Um, is Alien Romulus a prequel to Alien? What is the plot of the Romulus? I'm not gonna say that because that'll spoil it. Um, is David an Alien Romulus? I can tell you this, that's a no. Michael Fassbender is not in it. Um, what was the creature in Alien Romulus? Again, not saying it. That'll be a spoiler. Um, so oh, you know what? Let's see. Alien Romulus timeline. Maybe this will give it. Um, So how Alien Romulus fits into the Alien universe. Um, this can probably tell us, or where in the timeline is Alien Romulus? Alien Romulus is set in the year 2142 and bridges Alien and Aliens. So in a way, this actually takes place um after the first original Alien film of 79, but before its sequel, Aliens of 1986. So it's in between the time of after Ripley puts herself in hypersleep for the first time with the Cat Jones in her shuttle after her crew on the Nostromo was slaughtered. And it's before she was awoken 57 years later from the survey team and then sent out with the Marines again. So it's between the first original film and the second film. Um, Set in 2079, it follows the events of Alien. So this is set and directly follows the events of Alien Resurrection, set in 2379. Oh, these are just the years it's putting down for each one. Um, so so yes, it's between the first and the second film. Um, I'm just being redundant now. Um, Okay, so that answers the question of where Alien Romulus lies in the timeline. So if I had to go back to that timeline again, go to the timeline, see those things in order, but then actually after the first original film Alien of 1979, watch Alien Romulus next when it's available for streaming or DVD or whatever it is. So view Romulus after Alien before seeing Aliens, Alien 3, and Alien Resurrection. So that's it for tonight. So again, press the like button, comment down below your thoughts and ideas, um, and opinions and so forth, your ratings, whatever you will. Um, and I will be uploading, and it should be available on my channel sometime probably late tomorrow on a Sunday or sometime late on Monday. Uh, which is going to be, let's see the date. So that's going to either be late evening tomorrow, the 25th of August, or late night of the 26th of August. That's Monday. Okay. So again, guys, hope you liked this live discussion of the Alien franchise. I will see you guys next time. Cash out.